15 self-made billionaires that were once poor. Oprah Winfrey. Net worth $2.9 billion. She was born into poverty to a teenage single mum. She was living on a farm without indoor plumbing. She was raped and molested in her early teens, and when she was only 14, she gave birth to a child that would die in his infancy. Thanks to the federal program, she was given access to a rich suburban school where she discovered her path to success through public speaking and debate. She got a part-time job at a radio station, which led her to the historical Oprah Winfrey Show. As an actress, director, producer, and entrepreneur, Oprah has made herself worth $2.9 billion. Kenneth Langon. Net worth $2.9 billion. Kenneth Langon made his fortune through smart financial investments. He's best known for co-founding the Home Depot. Ken's parents were a plumber and a cafeteria worker. While studying at Bucknell University, Ken worked himself as a caddy. John Paul DeJura. Net worth $3 billion. He slept in his car, and he struggled with all kinds of odd jobs just to feed himself, from janitor to gas station attendant. Howard Schultz. Net worth $3 billion. His desire to better himself began as he grew up with poor parents. His father worked on one odd job to another, but Howard fought his way out and got himself admitted to college on a football scholarship. He was the first in the family to graduate from college. Howard Schultz got rejected 242 times by investors in order to finance Starbucks. He didn't give up. 243 was the charm and the beginning of one of the most successful business stories in the world. Stephen Biscotti. Net worth $3.9 billion. His father passed away when he was just a little kid. Stephen's mum had to raise him along with his two siblings alone. He worked hard to finally get admitted to the Salisbury State University, where he got a bachelor degree of arts and science. Then, together with his cousin, he built a high-tech temp agency. It was a small business he ran from a basement office. They worked so hard they managed to generate $1.5 million in the first year. Ralph Lauren. Net worth $5.6 billion. Born in the Bronx to Jewish immigrants, he didn't have an easy childhood. He dropped out of Baruch College to serve in the army and then left to become a sales associate for a tie company. He took this job seriously and managed to sell $500,000 worth of ties in 1967 through his tie-making business he opened in a tiny office at the Empire State Building. After designing ties for other brands, Ralph decided to launch his own brand, Ralph Lauren. Today, it is one of the leading fashion brands in the world. Roman Abramovich. Net worth $8.5 billion. At the age of 2, both his parents died. He was raised by his grandparents and uncle in Komi in the Russian Arctic Circle. When he was still a student in 1987, he started a small company of plastic toys manufacturer. Abramovich's first business venture was selling plastic ducks from a Moscow apartment, but within a few years he owned several oil conglomerates and numerous pig farms. Long story short, controversies aside, he became one of the 10 richest people in Russia and an oil tycoon. John Fredkiskin. Net worth $9.3 billion. John was born to a blue-collar working-class family. His father was just a shipyard welder. Francoise Pinault. Net worth $14.8 billion. He grew up dirt poor. He was so poor that the kids would bully and humiliate him all the time, until one day when he couldn't take it anymore and dropped out. That decision was the turning point of his career. Thomas Peterfree. Net worth $15.3 billion. He came to the United States as a refugee from Hungary during a Russian bombing raid. He'd not even know how to speak English or knew anyone, so he started from scratch. Years later, he's one of the most influential people in the financial world. Leonardo Del Vecchio. Net worth $18 billion. This man is responsible for owning and manufacturing almost all the premium sunglasses brands in the world. Luxottica owns several world-renowned brands like Ray-Ban and Oakley. Besides that, it also manufactures glasses for Ralph Lauren, Chanel, Bulgari, and Armani. Leonardo started Luxottica as a moulding shop he opened at the age of 23 after working for a while in a moulding factory. But before that, he had to learn to mould his own life from all the hard times he had to go through. His father died when he was still in his mother's womb, and because of that, his mother could not support him and his 4 siblings. They were all sent to an orphanage. He grew up there until he was able to get on his own feet. He worked any job he could find until one day when he found one in a moulding factory. Or George Soros, net worth $24.9 billion. George survived by working as a waiter and as a railway porter. His hard work paid off as he managed to put himself through the London School of Economics, where he got a bachelor degree of arts and science. After several jobs, he decided to move to New York and work on Wall Street. That's how he got started in the hedge fund business. Sheldon Adelson, net worth $30.3 billion. Sheldon Adelson was born to a rough-living family in Boston. Mother a stay-at-home mum and father a cab driver. He had to drop out of school to get a job in order to survive. He was living paycheck to paycheck from one odd job to another. He sold newspapers and toiletry kits, and he also tried court reporting and mortgage brokering. He struck gold by founding Comdex, an annual computer trade show. He didn't stop there. He took the money and he built Las Vegas Sands, which became the largest casino company in the United States today. Larry Ellison, net worth $48 billion. He was born to a single mother who could not raise him, so he was given to his auntie and uncle. Life seemed to get better until his adoptive mother passed away. Larry decided to drop out of college and moved with everything he had to California. He worked many kinds of odd jobs for 8 years, one of them even putting together databases for the CIA. Then, in 1977, he founded a software development company named Oracle. Amancio Ortega, net worth $72.5 billion, 1975. It took him over 20 years to transform it into a global brand. Today he controls several big-name brands as Massimo Dutti, Pull & Bear, Bushka, Wushu, and more under the same umbrella company, Inditex. They are generating over $75 billion per year. As a kid, he used to live with his father, who was a railway worker. He had to drop out of school and work alongside his father in order to make ends meet and survive. His first encounter with the world of fashion began when he worked as a shop hand for a local shirt maker. He learned as much as he could and moved on to do his own thing.